Hey, everybody, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Straight Jacket White Rabbit. My name's Adam, and of course, I'll be your host. You guys, I want to talk to you for a minute about the world we live in. Okay? We live in a world of extraordinarily wonderful things that most people either don't believe in any longer or don't appreciate anymore. It seems like we're in an ever driven community that's being separated even though we've been brought closer than ever before by technology. Most of us keep our heads down and work our 40 to 60-hour work weeks, some of us working up to 80 hours. Most two-parent households right now have two, three, four jobs just to pay the bills. Between working and taking care of what family you have, your children, your wife, yourself, and all of the other things that you have to worry about in our society of modern day. All the little add-ons that people keep having to use your time. Government around the world love telling us what we should be doing with our time. We don't live anymore. We exist. And we exist in a consumer-based society that is, I hate to say it, but the most materialistic species on this planet. We covet new things, better things, reinvented things. We've traded God, church, religion, discovery, exploration, and we've chosen technology over all of those. Creature comforts. But what we've really done is given ourselves no time to do any of those things. But did we do it to ourselves? No, of course not. Who would voluntarily do that? Get up at the crack of dawn, go to work, go to school, go to schools that we don't even teach people things that are of basic value to them. There are things being taught in schools right now, and when I was a kid, that the average person is not going to use. Our schools could be way better. They're not because they needed to be dragged out. We needed to ensure that the younger generations didn't have time for things like exploration, even individual thought. You're no longer rewarded for individual thinking outside the box. In fact, in most cases, it's a punishable offense. Now, I'm going to touch on the movie that everybody touches on at some point in the conspiracy world, and I'm talking about They Lived. That's right, the Rowdy Roddy Piper classic. 1988, I believe, They Lived. Okay, about a man named John Nada, who, through a series of events, discovers that his world is not what he thought it was. He sees the hidden messages with the help of a pair of glasses. He sees the true controllers of our world, an alien species who appear to be human to everyone else. And when he looks at these signs and magazines, even the money, there's a famous scene in the movie where he looks down at the money and it says, "This is your God." If you think about it, it's not far off from the truth for human civilization now. The almighty dollar. It may say, "In God we trust" here in America on our money, but what it should read is, "In capitalism we trust." We in America are the leader by leaps and bounds of consumerism. Now, is owning stuff bad? I'm not going to say it is. But what I am going to say is bad is when you're so focused on the material that you don't recognize the extraordinary things around you, then it becomes a problem. We've become a complacent species. There's nothing left to discover. There's nothing left to explore. We take things based on simple, oh, that's what I was told. Or I learned this in school, so it has to be true. How many things in school did you learn? For those of you who are close to my age, how many things in school did you learn that now they tell you are completely wrong? Because I can name a few. This isn't by accident. These people are changing our thought processes, you guys. Have you ever taken, those of you who are in their 40s or above, have you ever taken time away from work to get back to nature, go on a camping trip with family, go to the lake for a weekend, something like this? And almost like you haven't seen the world around you in years. Everything looks more beautiful. It looks more crisp. It's almost like going from standard television to when we switched to 4K. Okay, look at the old TV shows now from the 80s. They're all grainy and, blurry. It looks like you're wearing a pair of glasses that weren't prescribed to you when you watch them. But when you look at the newer television programs, it's crisp, it's clear, it's in focus. This is what we've lost. We've lost the ability to see our world in a clear, crisp, and focused manner. We've lost the ability to question anything that we were told in school. People don't argue against schools hardly at all anymore. Oh, well, the academics said it, so it must be true. Most people can't even tell you where our modern day maps come from. And if you don't believe me about the maps, I mean, look at how many times they've changed, you guys, in human history. Maps are changed all the time. Is it because we're adding land? Is it because we're trying to hide lands that exist that we don't want people going to? We don't know because we as a species have stopped asking these questions. Now, I'm not saying nobody thinks outside the box anymore. You have people like me and my brother and others who genuinely want to look at the world through purposely skewed glasses to try to see the cracks in the stories they're telling us, to try to see the truth behind the curtain, get a glimpse at the real Wizard of Oz, if you will. Now, for those of you who don't necessarily understand where I'm going with this, it breaks down like this. The people who are truly in control of our world have taken the wonder, the spirit of exploration that is man's very nature, and they've put it in a cage and locked it up tight. Well, for what reason? Why would they possibly do this? There's a lot of reasons. Number one I can think of right off the bat is they don't want you to learn how much power you really have. Everything is energy, guys. The human mind and body are capable of so much more than we actually make them do. If you don't believe me, just look back a few hundred years. Now, you're going to have to go back pre any kind of industrial society, because I believe that this is when it started. The modern eras. And I don't mean the 1920s, okay? I'm talking back to like the early 1700s or so, maybe even 1600s. But there was a sense of wonder, a sense of awe about our world back in these days. We didn't lose it because we discovered everything. We haven't even we know nothing about the planet we're on, you guys. We discover new species every day. We've never, ever, whatsoever, completely actually mapped out our oceans, which cover most of the surface of our planet. How insane is it that we know supposedly more about the surface of the moon than we do about our own planet? And if you don't believe what I believe about the moon, you guys, you don't have to. I'm just using that as a reference point, so don't eat me alive in the comments with the moon is fake. Okay, I get it. You believe that, and that's fine. I don't believe that the moon is necessarily fake. I do believe that it's hollow, and I do believe it's unnatural. I mean, just look at it. It does things that no other moons do. Now, that being said, I want to get back to the topic of exploration of ourselves and our planet. We have been distracted by busy schedules, added work, added pressure, and then the dangling of shiny trinkets. Ooh, look, you gotta work those extra hours so you can afford, this nice new car or this nice shiny TV or this really cool game or this gaming console or whatever you happen to be into. We have a consumer market for everybody. Everybody. And it's by design. These things, 40-hour work weeks, 60-hour work weeks, these things were all designed to keep us busy with our heads down, not asking questions. Because a society that is doing nothing but consuming both natural resources, consuming video, and when I say video, I'm talking about the narrative of the mainstream media. They're being fed garbage information via videos, okay? People are watching stupid stuff. When I grew up, one of my favorite things, even to this day, one of my favorite things to watch are like Discovery Channel, National Geographic, things where I can learn things about the planet I'm on. But you look at the rest of the world, and you have the people watching Real Housewives of Orange County, or Snooki, or any of these other weird people in shows that have no value other than pure entertainment in the moment. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to sit back and just be entertained. But at what cost? Have we truly lost our abilities to harness the power of our soul, of our energy? A lot of people believe that we, minus all of these distractions, could reopen the pathways to true magic. We're talking telekinesis. Okay? We're talking, true psychic abilities, telepathy, transmedium travel. Now, I'm not all for astral projection because that scares me, because when you got an empty vessel, other things out there waiting to jump in. But did we lose the magic of the old world due to an orchestrated plot to consume our time and thoughts and energy in pointless, futile work? We don't need to work a 60-hour, a 60-hour work week corporate job to survive on this planet. Although if the economy keeps up in the way it's going, we might. We do it because we've been programmed that we need to have all these shiny trinkets, all these toys, the next bigger, better thing. And for those people who were able to resist this programming, I salute you. I really do. But it's few and far between, you guys. You have to realize you are the fringe of society. Because for the most part, It's like the movie They Lived. Look at the people nowadays walking around with their cell phones. Okay, I love my cell phone. Don't get me wrong, guys. I hate technology, but I love having instant access to friends and family and news and weather and all manner of things. But look around the next time you go outside. Everyone's buried their face in their phones or around the dinner table. It used to be you came to the dinner table to talk and have open discussions and discuss current events, discuss the news of the day. Now, people sit around dinner tables with their kids and themselves buried in phones or tablets. They've got their dinner table set up right next to the TV so they can watch TV, take their mind off the real world. That's the problem. We've been taking our minds off the real world. And now I'm not saying it's like in the movies where, you're going to put on a pair of glasses and all of a sudden everything's going to be black and white and stripped of color and, you know what I mean? All of the images will become words like obey and all this stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's worse than that. We're in a prison where there is no seeing it. If you haven't seen it already, very few people can be talked off of that. Work, wake up, work again. All we do is work, sleep, eat, and have small amounts of time with friends and family. And for it, we've gotten fatter, we've gotten lazier, we've gotten dumber. And people go, look at our technology. How can you call us dumber? Technology doesn't make you smart, nor does it make you athletic or any of the other things we used to be. Humans used to be able to run 50 miles at a brisk jog or a dead run. There are probably 2 or 3 handfuls of people on this earth that can do that now. Because we're not in shape. We haven't trained our bodies to do what they're capable of doing. Look at people in rural areas who couldn't afford horses. There used to be people not that long ago who would walk 20, 30 miles just to get to work so they could afford to feed their families. Now you got people who can't walk 4 blocks. They'll call into work. Hey, it's snowing. I can't get my car out of the driveway. Tell them you live around the corner. This is the world we now live in. And this is the world they wanted us stuck in. You're in a cage. You're literally sitting in a trap that our species, or another species, depending on who you listen to, have created to blind you from the truth of the world around you, which is there's always more to explore. There's always more questions to be answered. There's always more things to learn about the world we live in. And we've replaced it all with convenience, shopping, home delivery food, and obsessive amounts of work. For what? Has it made us better? I don't think it has. I think it's harmed us in a massive, massive way. I think it's harmed us spiritually. And I think it was intended to do so. It was intended to enslave us. We live on a world full of enslaved people who go about their days minding their own business, who don't even know about the world they live in. Let me throw one at you right now. How many people here in chat, and be honest, know the following? And this is a true statement. We live in a world today where there are more slaves than in ancient Roman days, at the height of their slave trade. Something like estimated 40 million enslaved people, roughly. And just over half of those are sex slaves. Does the world stand up to this and unite against this? We all know it's wrong. We're supposed to be the civilized humans now, right? But no, no one focuses on it. Why? Because the mainstream media doesn't focus on it. Because the news doesn't focus on it. Because the governments don't focus on it. It's not what you're told to look at. And so most people don't. You're all living in a cage that's been designed by somebody else to live your life the way they want you to live it, to think about things that they want you to think about. Step out of the box. Follow the white rabbit like Neo did, and learn the truth about your world, or stay asleep forever. This has been Straight Jacket White Rabbit saying good night, love each other, and I'll see you soon.